This video is going to give a very brief overview of different theories of migration that exist in the field of demography. One of the original attempts to theorize migration is the push-pull theory offered by Ravenstein in 1889. And this is primarily an economic theory. People are pushed out of particular places because the economic opportunities are not there, or they move to another place because they're attracted to the economic options that are there. So volume of migration is also going to be shaped by distance and transportation. People have to weigh the transportation and distance costs when they are relocating. Is it worth it? Chain migration is a usual pattern of movement from one population's location to another. Demographic and social characteristics will also influence the probability of migration, and migration is not a one-directional move. It's either bilateral or multilateral. So Ravenstein offered some pretty foundational ideas that have been picked up on and further developed by others. This one, economic opportunity theory, treats individuals as rational actors seeking to maximize their own utility. So a little more individualistic than perhaps Ravenstein had in mind, which is he's looking more on a macro level scale. But individuals have to calculate the profit of moving versus the costs, because it will always cost something to relocate. Social costs, economic costs, etc. The problem is that it may be hard to quantify the costs and the benefits of moving, so this may not be something that rational actors can do. Of course, others would question the assumption that people are rational actors. That's a whole other question. Lee builds directly off of Ravenstein and the push-pull factor theory, adding new non-economic motivations. Lee maintains that our decision to relocate is not simply a matter of economics, that there are other things such as the environment and culture that are going to weigh in on our decision making. Intervening factors such as socioeconomic, sociocultural categorizations, ethnicity, employment status, etc., can lead to different decisions about relocating. But nevertheless, even taking these non-economic factors into account, it's still more or less a cost-benefit analysis. So that pulls in some of the economic opportunity theory ideas. Social network theory offered by Massey, going back to the 80s, focuses on the role of emerging markets that tend to promote international migration in developing countries. So the way that works is, of course, through chain migration. After certain family members migrate, others follow. Sometimes they return, and the knowledge they acquire is then spread. So there's a little bit of diffusion of innovation idea embedded in that too. Makes it easier for future family members to migrate. So this is more looking at a mechanism that gives rise to chain migration, right? The sharing of knowledge. Tadaro's migration model, also similar to other neoclassical economic theories, but makes an important distinction that people are not always working with perfect information. We're always making calculations based on what's expected in terms of costs and benefits, but those expectations may be shrouded in misunderstanding, in which case we can miscalculate, and that can lead to some bad decisions, even when they're not warranted. So even acting rationally, people can make bad decisions. Finally, the value expectancy model combines objective conditions with subjective values, as De Jong points out. So this particularly is going to hinge on one's location in the life course. Younger people are more likely to move for job purposes. There's also another period of time when retirees relocate for quality of life purposes and those kinds of things. So the goals may be economic, but also non-economic. Somebody might just be looking for a place to improve their quality of life without necessarily having an economic reason to relocate, or perhaps to be closer to family, which is another important driver that's been documented in the literature. So it comes down more to what people value. And of course economics are part of that, but it's not the whole thing. And so when we look at migration theories, you can see there's a very strong presence of economic thinking here, but the evolution of thought has tended more towards the place of culture and individual decision making within culture. Thanks for watching.